So, I wonder how much of this vlog I'm going to spend talking about how I never have any free time. As you know, I didn't really read when I was younger, but in about middle school I started reading, and at first I only started reading a couple of authors. I'm going to go ahead and be kind of a kids with cancer book hipster, because before it was cool, before John Green was sweeping the nation, according to the New York Times, I was reading books about kids with cancer. One of the few authors I read when I was younger was Lurlene McDaniel, who specialized in writing about kids with terminal illnesses. She started doing this because her son was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes, and she spent a lot of time with him in hospitals and with sick kids. She wrote books about kids and who were sick, and they were romance novels, like romance novels written for 10 to 13-year-olds. And they were just my favorite books in the whole world, and devoured them. The general idea was that there was a kid, usually a girl, but there were a couple about boys, who got sick, fell in love with somebody, and then one of them died. So at least once a week my family would come into my room and they would just find me sobbing over these books because I'd read this touching romance story of teenagers who, star-crossed lovers because one of them or both of them were, like, terribly ill. So about a year ago I was cleaning my room at home and I found one of these books. This one's called Someone Dies, Someone Lives, and I reread it. This one is actually part of a series that she did. It was called the One Last Wish series. This story is about a girl named Katie who needs a heart transplant, and this boy named Josh. And what happens is Josh's brother dies. This story actually takes place in Michigan, which is an interesting fact. He dies while he's playing football, and he was an organ donor. And Katie gets a call that says, "We have a heart for you," and she goes into surgery. And Josh has just lost his brother, and it's decided he wants to figure out where his heart went. So throughout some, sleuth investigating, because he can't ask, these things are confidential, but he figures it out that it probably belongs to this girl named Katie. So he goes and introduces himself to her, and they meet and fall in love. And what really surprised me about my reread of this book was how much actual medical information there was in this story. I was reading it as an adult, and I was kind of like, okay, I didn't need to know this much about heart transplants. And I kind of wonder how it held my attention when I was, 11 and 12 years old. On the other side of that, I know that when my mom got sick, there was a lot of things I did, know about cancer that I don't think I would have ever known before if I hadn't have read these books. I think that says a lot about why kids should read. I think that reading fiction, especially when you're young, and I mean maybe this is a corny thing to say, but it really broadens your horizons into things that you wouldn't think about as a child, just living your average life. And when you're young, your imagination is still, running most of your brain. So it allows you to think on things that you wouldn't normally think about as a kid, and I think that's important. It makes you a very well-rounded person before you have time to realize that you are becoming a well-rounded person. I think, at least in my mind, I romanticize these books a lot. I guess what I was really focused on then was the romance aspect of it, and as you know, I'm a very dramatic person, and I'm very drawn into very dramatic situations. And this sounds kind of awful, but it's true. There was a part of me while I was young and reading these that thought there would be something exciting about being sick, the attention and the complete change in your lifestyle. That's not something you think as an adult when you're reading a book. It's not something that happens once you have the common sense to reason through it. I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sunshine while it's here. It has been a freezing 40 and 50 degrees around here lately, and today's a very nice day, so I'm going to go out and enjoy it before it gets cold again. I gotta go read. So I'll talk to you soon.